Filthy casuals. Filthy casuals.
Filthy casuals.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to 3VO, where we're all on the same team. I'm your host for today, Jordan.
And I'm your other host, Brendan.
And if you're new here, we are just two big old nerds that absolutely love video games so much, we just have to talk about it all the damn time. So if you too share that same passion and love for video games as we do, this is definitely the place for you. Let's just get something out of the way here very quickly. We are sorry for the sort of unprompted, unannounced hiatus that we've taken here a little bit. It's been a little bit over a month, I think, since we've done anything for the podcast. Life gets in the way. We all got super some of us got super busy. Some of us just got really tired. And so we just needed a bit of a break for both of us. We could handle some things outside of this. So Filthy Casual episode today, come back in. So as you guys know, slightly more chill vibe today, but before we get into all that, for the first time in a long time on the show, Brendan, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, and not to undercut your point, it's very nice of you, very gracious of you to apologize.
I just want to mention
apologize,
it here, you know?
but I just want to say I'm not sorry.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
Because sometimes you just need a little break.
I'm not apologizing that we took the time. I'm apologizing more for that it was sort of unannounced. We didn't say it. We didn't really say anything about it. You know, that's more what I'm apologizing for.
I understand.
I make no apologies for us needing to take some time to just relax.
No,
we did want to jump back in last week, and then I think I messaged you, and I was kind of like, "Hey man, if you're not ready, I could still use the day," and you were like, "Please, I'm so tired."
I'm so tired. I'm still so tired. I feel like I'm still recovering. So, for the last long while, I have been involved in a production of Beauty and the Beast, which you came and saw.
I did get to go see.
And that took up so much of my time because rehearsals and then performances were like an hour plus away from where I live. So it was quite a commitment, but I'm really, really glad I did it. It was my first show back after, I want to say after COVID, even though we're not really after COVID at all.
We're really not. We're really, really not.
Not at all.
We're still in it.
I got COVID. A few weeks ago, right before we were supposed to open, a bunch of the cast actually got COVID.
Yeah.
So that was cute. We had to push our opening back a week, but we still did it. We still got both weekends. It was a great show. It was a lot of fun. I'm really glad I did it. I got back out there. And then I just had an audition on Saturday, so just a couple days ago, for Rent again, which is
exciting.
Very near and dear to my heart because it is the show that we met.
It is. We met during that show. It's such a special show to all of us.
Absolutely. Our central group of friends all met through Rent.
Yeah. I feel like Rent, if you're a theater person, and I'm not speaking for everybody here, but if you're a theater person, Rent is one of those shows that kind of becomes special to you no matter what. Yeah. And that only grows if you've gotten to do the show as well. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm very excited. I hope I get to do it again. I hope they select me to be part of the production.
Fingers crossed. Really, I've already told you break a leg and all that stuff. So.
Yes. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. And then very recent development. Today I went and signed up for a new gym.
Ooh.
And I worked out a little bit.
Love that.
And yeah, so I'm out there doing the damn thing. So Beauty and the Beast was quite athletic actually for me.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because musical theater is a sport, damn it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it fucking is.
So I just kind
of... Do a triathlon, but have to sing and speak while you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's musical theater, basically.
So I wanted to keep the, momentum that I had built up doing this show going. So I was like, okay, let me cancel the gym that I'm not going to anymore because I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
It was
you gotta find a place that fits your vibe well. You gotta find a place you like going to.
Yeah, absolutely. And that other gym was across town from me, so it was like a big thing. I was like, it's like 20 minutes to get there. I don't want to go. And I would talk myself out of it. So I signed up for a new gym. It's closer, nicer.
There you
got a buddy pass, so if anybody wants to tag along with me and go to the gym with me, they can. So all around, I think it's going to be a good habit of mine. I also haven't had a cigarette in 3 days.
Dude, there you go. Let's do that. Let's keep that up.
Let's keep that up. I know. I'm trying to be healthy and take care of myself.
Nice.
And stuff.
Love to see that. Love to see that.
How about you? What you been up to?
Well, it's been a while, so let's go ahead and bust the old girl back out here.
Oh, she's back.
Oh, Jesus.
I look pretty good for a dead
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's cobwebs on this fucking thing by now. Christ. This is a slightly different soapbox today, because I just want to talk about something for me that was very positive for me. Sometimes, and it's related to you. Sometimes you have friends, and I'm not speaking about anybody that I know in particular, but sometimes you have friends who are like, hey, I'm doing this thing, please come watch me and support me, and da-da-da-da-da. And sometimes it is like dragging yourself out kicking because you're like, oh, this isn't gonna be that great. Getting to watch you on stage again was such a fucking delight. It really was just like so special to get to watch you go up and perform and act and sing, and and not that you're not good at those things, but especially to watch you dance again. It was just so like you could ask my wife, just like when you came out and started tapping, I legit like grabbed her and started shaking her. I was kind of like, he's got the shoes back on. It was so wonderful to see again. So just wanted to mention here that like it was so nice to. If part of the hiatus was that you were rehearsing so much, you needed to dedicate time to that, and I will say, here now, 100% worth it. 100% worth the time off, man. If it meant you got to do that, it was totally awesome.
It was really great getting to tab again. Because especially the role that I was playing, when I got cast, I was like, well, there goes that. I guess I won't be dancing a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then the choreographer was like, psych.
So sorry, you gonna do what now? No, we're gonna make this happen.
She was like, no. Cogsworth dances, and I was like, no complaints here. I really want to dance, and then she utilized me in a lot of stuff.
It was
pretty
brilliant.
Much everywhere that she possibly could have. Yeah,
I feel like as someone who has directed, and that's different than doing choreo and whatnot, but that does become a thing when you're like, oh, you can do this. I'm gonna make any excuse to put you in wherever the hell I fucking can to make it happen.
Absolutely, and both the choreographer and the director were of that opinion.
Yeah.
So I even got to slip into a scene that Cogsworth is not in at
all,
which was really important for me because I wanted to do the tavern scene so badly.
It's such
for that
a fun
number.
scene.
It's fun.
Such a fun scene.
And ever since I saw Beauty and the Beast live and I saw the tavern with the mugs and
it's super fun.
Everything, I was like, I want to do that.
Yep.
So when I got cast as Cogsworth, I was like,
oh, there goes that part.
I was like, not to sound ungrateful, but like I was like, man, the one thing I really wanted to be a part of.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, I forgot I was wearing lipstick, so I probably look like hell right now. Well,
you got a little smudge.
Yeah, I figured as much.
It's okay. It's a podcast.
It's okay. We're going Harley Quinn today, guys. It's fine. We're just gonna sit here and live with it, I guess, and try not to think about it for the rest of the hour.
But thank you for saying that. That's so kind of you, and it was really, really great to get back out there.
I'm glad. It was awesome to watch. Other than that, though, for me, getting this time off too has meant I've had a decent amount of time to because I also just took a little break from just streaming myself and working on editing the videos and whatnot. I was just like, I'm just gonna full stop myself. If Brandon's gonna take a break, I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah. Bless you.
I'm sorry. I'm also not used to the cats anymore in this house, so this is gonna be.
You're gonna be a puffy red.
No, it never gets that bad. I get sniffly. It's as bad as it gets. I'm very lucky when it comes to my allergies. So I took a break from everything, which also meant I just had a lot of free time to myself. So I did a lot of gaming. Originally, I thought was going to be like, cool, I'm going to finally beat all these games, like Borderlands 3, Final Fantasy X, get back into Kingdom Hearts and do all this stuff.
How'd that go?
Not great, because they put a lot of stuff on Game Pass, so it didn't really... Clocked into Game Pass, and I was just like, Assassin's Creed Origins. Oh, that's the one in Egypt. I heard that one was really good. Got sucked into that for like 30 fucking hours, and then I was kind of like, all right, no, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go back and finish something else. Far Cry 5? Son of a bitch, I really wanted to play that one. Okay, go into playing Far Cry 5. Beat that. We're done. We're going back to the old stuff. What do you mean all the Arkham games are for $8 with all the DLC? I have to do this now too. So currently in the middle with Arkham City. Playing that again.
So what I'm hearing is Xbox has you wrapped around their little finger.
Oh, so much. We knew this before I talked about this. That's no surprise. Xbox has me, Pokemon has you.
Yeah, that's true.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a good time for just catching up on games.
Good.
And whatnot. And also a lot of my time now, especially since people have been sending me in their stuff, finally and thankfully. A lot more prep going into the D&D campaign that I'm going to be DMing, which I'm very
excited.
I'm so excited about this.
Very excited.
It's been people are sending me their backstories, and I'm just like trying my best to see how much I can weave stuff into the narrative. But then I realized something the other day that like we have 7 people in our campaign now.
It's gonna be hard.
Well, it's going to be hard, and then also thought I was like, realistically, not everybody would have all of their shit like together in this like 30 square mile fucking radius.
Yeah.
Like it really wouldn't all happen. So I'm trying to be selective about being like, okay, who's going to have like very plot important stuff happen here that could kind of get wrapped up in this campaign, and who's going to have like little hints that'll kind of get dropped that maybe if they want to continue this character into a different campaign can be part of their lore going in from now on and whatnot. So just trying to find that balance and see where shit works and where shit doesn't work. But also try not to put too much pressure on myself for like doing everything all at once, you know.
Seriously,
what I mean? Just like
don't.
Yeah.
Like the less amount of pressure you can put on yourself, the better.
It makes sense.
Honestly, have you heard about my character? Have you heard the rumors?
I haven't heard anything about your guy yet.
Really?
No.
Oh wow. Do you want to know?
I know it's another fucking Fae that's in the
Yes, I haven't settled on the race yet. But everybody else is doing fake creatures, so I'm like, I kind of feel obligated to do
everybody but
like
one. Everybody but one is doing a Fae.
The exception that proves the rule. But yeah, I feel like I should be a fake character, so I'm gonna be a monk who follows the bro code.
Oh my god.
But it's like an actual like
you're a fuckboy monk?
I'm gonna be a fuckboy monk. Like a surfer shaman type of.
Oh my god.
And I'm on like a pilgrimage, and that's why I'm in the area that we're in.
Oh,
Surfer shaman. But it's gonna be like not. He's gonna have like the skin of a douchebag.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be like an actual good person.
Right.
You know,
right.
And it's like the bro code makes him bro-y.
Yeah.
But it's like we don't treat women like that. Oh no, that's all right.
Got you.
You know things like that.
It's like I had an idea ages ago that I wanted to do as a sketch that was going to be called Woke Bros.
Yes,
it's gonna be that.
Absolutely. It's gonna be
it's
just like that.
It's gonna be the douche looking guy who's like, dude, no means no.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I love it.
And I wish it was my idea. I saw it on a TikTok. I have no idea where or how I saw it. But somebody out there in the universe on the internet had the idea, and I was like, "That's incredible! I'm doing that."
I had a 45-minute discussion with one of my buddies at work about the character of V from V for Vendetta, if you're familiar with him, about what class you would put them in, because something I've gotten into was taking existing characters and using them as like an inspiration into what I want to do for a D&D character. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, and just going like, I like that template. Let's use that.
I just wish I could credit the person, and be like, this was their idea.
And say this was their idea. I'm taking it.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a creator who was like, steal this idea. So like, I don't feel
right,
bad about it. I don't feel bad about stealing it, but I want to credit, but I can't because it's TikTok.
I got you. That's something else I want to talk about really quickly here, because I sent you this idea a while ago for our Patreon. Yeah. If you're okay with me sort of bringing up
please do.
This thought.
The more you bring it up, the more it might actually happen.
So we're trying to. We are trying to find things to do for Patreon, so when we actually put it out there to you guys,
it's worth it,
and say like, and make it worth it and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, because we talk about it all the time and how much we love it, I think doing a one shot for the Patreon would be a really cool idea, because we, the 3 of us who work on 3VO regularly are avid D&D players and and have a lot of fun with it. So I think that would be good, and then possibly pulling in some of our other peoples to be like, hey, come sit at the table and play a one shot with us, because we know a lot of people who like playing it as well. And have big personalities that I think would be fun to throw into it for. So, I'm gonna start researching and looking into that to see how we could do that. So, I think that should be like our first like Patreon like tier would be like this goal for whatever we will release the one shot kind of a thing. Yeah. So, look forward to that. Now that all that's done and out of the way, let's get into today's episode. We're going to do things a little bit different today with a totally original idea that I came up with entirely on my own. On an unrelated note, go check out Hot Topic with Bailey and Pickle, wherever you could find good podcasts anywhere. Just for clarification, I got this idea from this other podcast I love listening to. It's called Hot Topic. They every Friday they come up with like a overall topic for the podcast, and then they have like a bowl full of themes that they pick out of that they've each written down, and they just kind of see how much they can riff off of like that one thing and whatnot, and they go for it. So I decided to implement that in today's episode, where we're just kind of going with the broad spectrum of video games.
Right.
And me and Brendan have each written stuff down. We don't know what each other wrote, and we're just going to take turns pulling stuff out of the hat and seeing where we go with it, where the conversation leads. We might get through all of these. I think there's like 12 or something like that. 12 or...
Yeah, we have like a dozen. Yeah.
Like a dozen or so in total. We might get through all of them. We might not. We'll see how far we go. So we're just gonna... Am I gonna start?
Would you like to do the honors?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, I would. Let's go ahead. Get it a little mixed up in there. Let's grab this guy. What do we got? Ooh, okay. Ooh, if you could design a game based around an existing story, what story would you pick and why? That's a good one.
Thank you.
Oh, I like that a lot. That's tough. That's really tough, though.
Do you want me to say my answer? Because it was my question, so I
kind of had to... for it. Please go for it.
Absolutely. Okay, so there's this book series from my childhood called The Edge Chronicles that no one has ever heard of except me. But there was like a dozen books, and every 3 were like a trilogy.
Ooh, okay.
And they followed like a particular character. And like all of the characters, so it like covered like 4 characters, and it like they kind of were all related to each other in some way. Anyways, but it was about this like land that was this, how to describe it? It was like, think like a peninsula juts out into the ocean, right?
Gotcha.
But imagine there's no ocean, it's just like open air. So there's this like long spit of land sticking out into the vast emptiness, and it's called The Edge.
Gotcha.
The Edge Chronicles. And it's huge. It's this whole world. And at the very end of the spit is this big city, big like metropolitan, and then in the sky, built on a floating rock, is like where the academics live and stuff. And then there's like this big open spot called the Mire that's like really uninhabitable, and like a bunch of weird shit lives there. And then there's the Twilight Woods, and then there's the big forest in the back. Anyways, so too much detail, but anyways,
you're good.
It's this really vast world, and there's lots of cool stuff going on, and they have these rocks that grow in the rock gardens, and they are lighter than air. They float. So that's how they're able to build a city on the biggest one. Then that also means that they have sky pirates, because they put these rocks into the ships, and then they can like float around and stuff, and it's very cool.
Gotta love some sky pirates.
So I think it would make a really cool setting for a game. I've always wanted to see something done with this series, because there's a lot of cool different creatures. It was all really well thought out, and nobody's ever heard of it. And I just think it's really ripe for something to be done with it. It'd be a cool Netflix series. It'd be a cool video game. It'd be a cool movie. Somebody out there, do something with it.
I have a curious question that just came up for me for this, because I wonder if this is what happens sometimes with wanting to see a narrative format that you really love translated or adapted into a different format. Is it, and I'm not trying to accuse or anything like that, this might sound a little odd, but it's just like, is there a part of it beyond just like, I think this would make a really cool video game? But it sounds like with this, there's also a part where it's like, I want somebody else to appreciate this as much as I do.
Absolutely.
Got you.
No doubt.
That's interesting, though. I really, really like that.
Yeah. It's so cool. There's so many creatures. Oh, it's so...
Right.
Check it out, yo.
Okay. For me, the first thing that came to mind, because you brought up a book series, was, did you ever get into... I think this might have been a little bit after... I think this was stopped being... Might have stopped being like the cool thing when you started reading books at like an age when this would have hit you. But did you ever know, or at least know about the Animorphs series?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay, yeah. I wasn't sure. Yeah. I fell out of it, so I don't remember where it ended. But I feel like that would make a really, really cool one.
Okay, yeah.
For just like a big open. I see it as like sort of like an open world kind of thing, where you are with a team that has these abilities to turn into different animals, and you are aware of the alien invasion that has currently happened. Because that's the thing I really like about Animorphs, is that they made a point to be like, it's not that the aliens are coming. They're here, and they've already taken over major spots. So you are essentially part of like a small rebellious group trying to counteract that, but also not causing mass panic by just telling everybody, hey, this is happening.
Right. That was a TV series too, wasn't it?
Yeah, they made a Nickelodeon series out of it for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was for its time and like for the budget they probably had. It was one of those things. But and also just like, turning into animals and shit is just something I've wanted since I was a kid, because that just sounds cool as hell. So using that mechanic and the time system of being like you can only do it for a limited amount of time or you're stuck, I think would also be a really cool implementation into a video game setting too. Yeah. So that would be mine. It would probably be something like an Animorphs game or something like that. Ooh. But that's happening a lot more now. Is like we're seeing stuff outside of just like either movies or comic books or graphic novels being turned into video games. Like The Witcher is a book series before it was a video game.
Right.
And there's a Oh, the Metro 2020 series is also like it was originally like another Russian novel that was made that is being adapted into video games too. So I just like seeing that like there's people who are noticing like, oh, there's a lot of creative freedom you have with the video game in terms of your adaptation and whatnot, I think. Right. So I don't know. I just like seeing people taking advantage of that too.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, then I guess it's my turn.
Go for it. Let's see.
This one. Okay, good. It's one of yours. Characters that make the game worth it.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, is this like would be a bad game, but this character makes it okay, or
wouldn't necessarily make it a bad game? More like something that maybe either wasn't like your so my example to me is like pretty much everybody in Hades.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Because like normally the low grind dungeon crawler like that is not my jam. But something like because the story's interesting and I love the characters in it, it keeps me compelled and coming back and interested in playing the game. So I'd say like either something that you wouldn't normally play, or maybe it isn't as polished as you would like, but you still come back because you like the environment or the characters or something like that too. You know what I mean?
Something where the characters are the draw, or like
a bit more of the
draw or part of the draw.
Part of the draw. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going with Hades?
I mean, I have more examples, but I'm saying Hades is like a
poetic,
big one.
Please.
Well, I mean, like I think to go with yours is like Mass Effect 1 to me is a prime example. Like Garrus, Liara, Tali in particular for me are draws to keep coming back to that game series in particular, because especially with Mass Effect 1, that playing it for the stream, we'll get back on that by the way. Playing it for the stream, I'm just kind of like, yeah, the gameplay itself, other than the dialogue stuff, is not that compelling, especially now that I've still had the muscle memory for how you play Mass Effect 1. So it's just like getting back into it, it's been like, oh yeah, I know how this works. There's nothing really too compelling about the combat style in Mass Effect 1 to me anymore. Yeah. Like, once you get past how janky it is, you know how it works, you're just kind of like, okay, we're just mop through, use your powers here, da-da-da-da, you're good to go. But interacting with the characters and talking to them, especially like those three that I listed, for me anyway, are like the main draws for it.
Yeah.
So it would be Mass Effect and Hades to me are my prime examples, yeah.
For sure. For me, Spiritfarer comes to mind because of all of the wonderful characters.
They're so delightful.
Of varying temperaments.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Game, you know? They're all just like unapologetically themselves.
Yeah.
And I love each and every one of them for different reasons, you know? So Spiritfarer is definitely the one that I think of. And I think that makes sense because it's a very character-driven sort of story and
100%. 100%. Yeah. That's a good one too. And I think it's also that one's also a really good example to me of like sort of having diversity amongst your characters as well. Because there are games that, and purposefully and accidentally sometimes will kind of have like sort of like a through line note that kind of happens through all the characters. Like Grand Theft Auto to me is a really good example of like people come from different walks and there's different types of people in Grand Theft Auto, but they all kind of follow a single they all kind of follow like a note that you felt like they're all criminals. They're a little samey, but it's done. But it's done in the theme of the world that Grand Theft Auto exists in. So it makes sense that everybody in the world of GTA sort of has a similar feel to them. It's not like it's lazy writing. It's like, we're going for a tone here. Yeah. And so we need characters that match that tone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Whereas with stuff like, I'd say certain first-person shooters, I'm not going to call out names here, but just like with certain first-person, because I can't think of ones that like fit the bill right now, but some first-person shooters, you kind of go like, all right, here are 12 grumbly white guys. Cool. Like, I don't know who you want me to get excited for here. He's mad because his daughter's dead. He's mad because someone killed his father. Like, I don't know there's no variation here in terms of like motivation or feel for characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think another one that's come to mind for me is like Bioshock 1. I think all of the characters.
The characters are very compelling, but it's in such a different way that I think than you normally get with. Because like I'm like talking about like with Mass Effect 1, it's kind of like I get excited when I get to go talk to Tali. You know what I mean? Where it's like with Bioshock, it's like you're sitting there looking at someone like Tenenbaum to me is a great example, because you're like, all right, I know you're not the bad guy of this game, and it's not that I think that you're a bad person,
but you're not the good guy.
But you're not the hero here either. You know what I mean? Like complex characters, that are interesting to dive into and learn more about and whatnot. Yeah,
absolutely. Especially a lot of like the bad guys that you end up like unaliving in the game. Like, who's the artist guy? I always forget his name.
Oh, good lord.
The one who I want Nathan Lane to play in the movie.
I know. God, I can't remember. It's
you know
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name. You all know who he is.
Yeah.
He's the guy that when you first meet, he's well, not when you first meet him, but one of the first moments, he has a man strapped to a piano covered in bombs. The moment he starts fucking up, he just blows him the hell up. It's so good. Oh my god. Sandor? No. Something like that. Anyway, Cohen,
Sander Cohen.
Sander Cohen.
There you
We
go.
got there. Thank God. Yeah. Fascinating character. Would never want to meet the guy in real life, but in a game setting, I'm so interested in who that motherfucker
absolutely.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Okay,
Ooh,
I like that.
And it's a different take on it because they keep coming back, or like they intrigue you in like a bad way.
It's true. Well, I'll come back for any Bioshock any fucking day, anytime.
Truly. All right, you ready to?
Yeah, let's do another one. Let's go. I like this, by the way.
Yeah,
this is really fun. This
Yeah.
is a great idea. I'm glad I stole it. This is just, I swear I'm not trying to look and peek. I pulled yours.
Oh, well, I mean, that's fine.
All right. If you could remake a game, which one would you pick? Oh, I actually know what this is.
Ooh.
Out the gate right away. I'm trying to remember the exact title of the game. You could go ahead. I need to look up what this is for me real quick. So go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I would like a remake of like the very first Zelda game. Like,
oh yeah,
the first one, because it only exists in that really struggling top-down, pixel animation.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's a classic. It's the OG. I get it.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to see it with like a fresh skin, like they did for Link's Awakening.
Yes.
It would be really cool to see it just done again, so that it could be approachable by a new generation of gamers, and myself included. Because like I've never played through the original Zelda game.
Right,
actually.
I never played in the original Zelda
It's a
games.
bit challenging, and I'm not saying that they have to like remake it and make it easier for people, but it would just be nice to have like an updated, very accessible version of it.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was Aaron Hansen from the Game Grumps who talked about it once, where he argued that he thinks that Breath of the Wild is sort of like the closest thing we're going to get to a full remaster and remake of the original Zelda, because it has the closest to that feel of like literally start the game, walk into a thing, and here's a sword, go, like it's open to you from there, kind of
degree,
a feel to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I think, but I get what you mean though, like getting that like reskin of like that original top down like view and whatnot, and just like couple more pixels added here and there. And
a couple more, a few more, yeah.
I could see that. Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
Mine is a game from the mid-2000s. It was called PsyOps: The Mindgate Conspiracy. And it was, it didn't get a lot of play. There was like me, my buddy David, and a few other people around us who like really knew about this game when it came out. You are a soldier who wakes up in a facility. You have amnesia. You don't know how you got there. A lady hands you a gun. And says go, very similar to Zelda.
As ladies are wont to.
And ladies as they are.
Ladies.
You wake up, they get you a gun, they say go, and you're just like, oh, okay, I guess. But then as you go through, you discover that you were originally a soldier who was sort of bred and designed to have these psychic abilities. And it's a third-person shooter where you have psychic abilities throughout the game. So you have like telekinesis. You can do mind control on people. You can just set things on fire because you have like a pyro like power to it. You can see things that are invisible and you can become invisible yourself. Like it was just a lot of really cool. The story itself was messy and it kind of fell apart at the end of the game, but like I think it would be one that if you gave it to a newer team that could focus a bit more on like the story aspect to it and know how to like polish that up a little bit, I think it would be really cool. So yeah, somebody out there, PsyOps: The Mindgate Conspiracy, by the rights. The company that made it's fucking dead now, so I don't know who owns the rights to it anymore. But it was another Midway title who were responsible for like Mortal Kombat and stuff from back in the day. So yeah. Right before, a little bit before they went bankrupt. So but yeah, that would be mine because it was such a fun game.
Oh, you just reminded me of the other game that I need a remake of so badly. The Gauntlet series.
Oh,
Gauntlet?
I know Gauntlet.
Holy fuck, do we need a new Gauntlet like yesterday? Oh my god.
I don't know how that would go because now we're in it's sort of like what people talk about with like if you've never seen Seinfeld, if you go back and watch Seinfeld, it would feel very similar to a dozen other things you've watched because everything now
imitated that.
So it feels like It's like everything is sort of so many things are taking the Gauntlet prototype that I don't know how it would feel going back and doing Gauntlet at a certain point.
Point it out to me. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, I just like things like I feel like the steps to things like Diablo and WoW and things like that. You don't get there without Gauntlet. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So it's like that's sort of like the base, like to me that's the base formula that gets us to a lot of other stuff.
I suppose you're not wrong. Yeah.
So going back to that way, it would just kind of feel like, oh. So this is like as basic as you can make these games that have become a lot more complex. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a bad idea, and I could be totally wrong on that.
I just really like. I miss couch co-op.
I do. Oh,
I miss couch co-op.
Listen, whatever gets us back to couch co-op, I'll take it. I'll take it. Whatever gets us back there, I'll take it.
Multiplayer is fine across the internet, whatever. But like, come on.
Yeah. And there are a lot of companies that are doing their best to kind of bring that back. Like the Supermassive game series with their stuff, it's very much like to get your friends together and play a goofy game. The company for It Takes Two and the A Way Out game as well, very much designed for a co-op, a couch co-op idea and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, it needs a better return because like I love playing online too, but it's a different feel than sitting there with your buddy and playing a game.
I don't know. For me, Gauntlet feels like playing, or it feels close to kind of playing through like a D&D campaign. Because you're going through like all of these different levels, and you've got bosses to face, and like you can get the, like, if you go back and you like search the secret area, you can get the secret weapon that defeats the thing. You know, it's just, it's got that kind of D&D feel, plus couch co-op, and I have like a lot of like nostalgia for playing Gauntlet like with my family. Like,
I got you.
That was what we sat down and played. You know, it was Gauntlet.
Oh, okay.
So
see, my family, it was all about taking turns on Duck Hunt. Like that was our big one. That was our big one. I'm old, Brendan.
Yeah. So Gauntlet.
I do think there's a good crowd though. Like no matter what, that would be like, I'm sorry, they remade Gauntlet. I gotta see what this is. I gotta see what updated Gauntlet is. Yeah.
Or don't even just re-release it on the fucking Switch.
Oh, that would sell like fucking crazy. People would
give me Gauntlet Dark Legacy on the Switch. I don't need the graphics updated. I don't need a new storyline. I don't need nothing. Just give me Gauntlet Dark Legacy on the Switch. That's all I want.
What we're really coming down to here is that Brendan just wants to play Gauntlet again. Like, unrelated to the question, Brendan just wants to play Gauntlet again. That's what it comes down to. You just needed your chance to share that with everybody. All right, you want to
any other? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. This one is another one of yours.
How is this happening?
Okay, it's Fuck, Marry, Kill, Zagreus from Hades, Caden from Mass Effect, Claptrap from Borderlands. Okay, yeah, you fuck Zagreus.
Yes.
You kill Claptrap. And you marry Caden. Because Caden will take care of you.
It's true.
But Zagreus...
I feel like that makes sense. You don't... Zagreus is not the guy you settle down with.
No.
We
a little too much going on there.
This is thrown as a joke. We don't need to like harp on it for too long. We can move on to the next.
Do you fully agree with that?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay, great.
100%. So you're just going to go twice?
This one popped out. If that one was a joke.
Okay, fine.
Movies you would want to see as a video game. Okay, yeah, we've kind of covered this before.
We had talked about it a little bit before. Yeah. Because I'm interested in this because I remember the time in video gaming in which that it was like big budget movie release.
The video game followed right after. Absolutely.
And 9 times out of 10 the game sucked. It was terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you were just like, just give me if you're not even going to try, why? 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 There's no point.
Yeah, totally understand. You mean all of the Harry Potter games?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Those were like especially bad.
Especially.
It's like an insult to your intelligence bad. Like
especially heinous.
Yeah. And I want to say, when we talk about stuff like that as well, I do understand that was like probably a very small startup company doing their best that was given like $12 and a box of string to make a video game. So we're not blaming the people who actually made it. We're just saying that just kind of like, you guys weren't given, those teams weren't given the best resources to make something good. So just when I talk shit about something like that, I understand the development issues of the things like that. Just want to make that clear really quickly here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as things that I would like to see. I I don't know. Maybe because of the history that you just outlined of like big movies getting turned into video games and then being crap. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing that I'm like chomping at the bit like, oh my god, they need to make this a video game, because I'm like,
I do think Harry Potter could have a really cool video game if somebody like really sat down and like was like, no, we are designing a video game in the world of Harry Potter that we are going to use. Like, I think Telltale could do a really fun one in the world of Harry Potter. You know what I mean?
There is the new big ticket Harry Potter game that's coming out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. That is happening.
Conflicted. Don't want to support J.K. Rowling.
That's the thing. I don't want to give her any more fucking money.
No.
I don't want to give her any more money. And I've heard there's like problematic elements within the new one as well too. That I'm just like,
really?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well,
There's some. Well, it's some stuff where it's like, and just I am not fucking defending J.K. Rowling. I am not at all. All right. There's just some surrounding stuff with like, I guess it's about like a Goblin Rebellion is like kind of like a part of the story and whatnot from what I've heard anyway. And there's problematic elements in terms of like how goblins are represented and sort of like some anti-Semitic commentary that comes with that.
Cute.
And it's just like, part of that to me is like, I'm not saying that she wasn't aware of it when she was writing, but that's kind of been a thing for a while in the world of fantasy. So it's like, how much is a party guilty if they're sort of riding on the back of something else that has always been there and been problematic? Somebody please go ahead and tell me if I am fucking wrong. I would love to know how wrong I am on this. And I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm not saying that makes it okay. If you're aware of it, don't do it. But it's been one I'm just kind of like, I mean, that's an issue with genre at a certain point in my eyes.
Yeah, but
Doesn't make it okay to do. I'm not saying it makes it okay to do at all. I'm not saying it makes it okay. Yeah.
We've talked about things that don't make good movies instead.
We've done that too. It's
instead
true.
of things that we would like to see as movies.
It's true. I'm always a little hard pressed on this one though, because I'm just like, I mean, we've talked about it here before. My feelings on like, you don't need an adaptation to make something good or to verify it as being good. Like something can stand on its own and still be good. That doesn't mean an adaptation isn't warranted for something though. I would like to say I had it the other day. I was thinking like, God, this would be a cool video game. Nope. It's complete. Nope. Go ahead.
The Mummy. There probably is one.
There are mummy games, and they're terrible.
About it.
But that would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Like a good one.
That would be like a really really cool fun one. Would be really really good. I'll piggyback on that. That'll be my answer too.
I think also too it might make a good game. Do you recall that movie Nerve from a few years ago?
Nerve? No.
One of the Francos was in it. Who's the non-problematic Franco brother?
That would be Dave.
He's in it.
The younger one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
From Now You See Me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That Franco. He's in it, and then I can't remember the lead actress's name, but it's the one where they're like, it's like this app that they've all downloaded, and it's like a truth or dare game.
Oh, I heard about
it.
Yeah.
If they play along, then they get like big money, and it's like this big thing. And
yes.
Their stunts get like crazier and crazier as like the night progresses.
I vaguely remember this. Yeah.
It was a good one. I think
it was a good flick. Okay.
I think you'd like it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, you should. I think it would make a good game because of like all the challenges and things that like they could build out of it.
Yeah.
You know, even if you weren't playing as like the main characters from the game, if you were like, you know what I mean?
Oh, one I thought of that would make a great survival horror game. It was a flick from the early 2000s. A director I love, Eli Roth. Did you ever see Hostel?
No.
The whole premise of it is just like these four guys go on vacation in Europe. And they find out about this place where it's just like, you know, it's a bunch of college bros go into Europe. So they're just kind of like, we're coming here to fucking party and da-da-da-da. And they get in touch with this guy who's kind of like, dude, you go to this hostel in this area. Like, all the girls there are down. They love Americans. Like, everyone's down to party and do drugs and hang out and shit. Finding out a lot of it is a front for this shady underground business that is run where you can pay to go and torture people.
Whoa!
Yeah. And the movie does follow one of the characters who like manages to actually escape and get out and stuff like that. So I'm like, that would actually be a really cool one to do for a premise for a survival horror game. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good. It's a cool. I'm not gonna say it's a great movie. It's a really interesting horror movie though.
Sure.
Like the premise, it's one of sort of like what we talked about, like the characters that keep you interested. This one is a premise that keeps you sticking around. The actors are really good in it too. It's actually one that has like really, really good acting, but it's like this is just such an interesting idea. I got to see how this goes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like one of those. So put that in a game setting, I think would actually be really, really cool.
Cool.
So there's my answer.
I like it.
Took me like 10 minutes to get there, but I got there.
We got there.
For a card that I made.
Yeah. You want to do a few more?
There we go.
Got time for a few more.
Yeah, we got a couple more here. Let's see what this guy is.
If we want to get through them, we can do like rapid fire.
Jesus. Yeah, we can finish up here with some rapid fire ones.
Yeah.
Well, that works because I think we know what my answer is going to be for this one.
What?
If you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Any of the Mass Effect games except for Andromeda. Because they just mean so much to me. I love them so fucking much. It's what really, to me, Mass Effect is what made me a gamer in terms of like dedication to playing this game and getting really, really fucking good at it and mastering it and whatnot. I haven't, but I try to. But yeah, so for me, it's gotta be Mass Effect for just like the love of the story, the characters, and just like almost everything else about it. Cool. That's it for me.
Nice. I think I would pick something like a Stardew Valley, something that
really
something that has like I could sink like a bunch of hours into and not get over it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because like any of the Mass Effects, at a certain point,
you've done it all.
There's a cap on how many hours you can put into it before you have to like start over again from the beginning.
Yeah.
But like with a Stardew Valley, it's like, oh, I could put 20 hours into this, or I could put 100 hours into this, or I could put 300 hours into this.
Makes sense.
And then I could start over. You know, so
Gotcha.
For me, and there's like a lot of different like setup things that you can do at the beginning of Stardew Valley to make it kind of different every time you play. So I would do some simi kind of game, probably Stardew Valley.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that.
All right, cool. So that's are we gonna try to get through these? Okay.
Yeah, let's try to get through them.
All right.
So try to keep it semi-short.
Rapid fire. Okay, this is another one of mine.
All right.
What game would you like to play through as a D&D campaign?
Oh my god! Oh, that's such a good question. Well, I mean, I'm tentatively myself kind of thinking of one that is sort of set in like a Left 4 Dead kind of setting, so like zombies and whatnot.
Yeah.
That I would like to do for a one-shot one of these days, if I can make it work.
Okay.
So there's something like that, but overall for like we're talking like a big, like you're dedicated to this thing for like X amount of months and whatnot. Yeah. Interesting. That's a good fucking cool. Oh, it's been the answer before, but like I think Bioshock would make a really interesting setting for a D&D campaign.
It's my answer too.
That would be so fucking cool, though. Yeah. That would be so cool.
Even because then you could go from Rapture up to Columbia too.
That's what I mean. Like, you could do everything for it and whatnot.
You could even start in Columbia and then go down to Rapture,
which would also be interesting to do it that way too. That's a good one. All right, I'm gonna keep it going here a little bit. Oh, it's one of mine. Ooh, video games you'd play again for the first time.
Oh, like if I could wipe my memory and play it again?
Wipe your memory and do it again.
Oh, man.
I know. That's a big one. There's a lot.
Can I only pick one?
Let's say, for time's sake, top 3.
Okay, I like that. Ocarina of Time.
There we go.
Sure,
there we go.
For fucking sure. Oh my gosh. Well, what are yours?
I could do mine pretty quickly here. It would be the first Mass Effect game. It would be the first Bioshock game.
Yeah.
And then it would be Dead Space 2.
Okay.
Dead Space 2 to me is like, in my opinion, the closest example you get to what you would consider a perfect game. Like everything is as good as it can be across all levels. Like it's such a fucking good title.
Bioshock would definitely be up there for me.
Yeah.
Because the twist and everything.
The reveal is so good. That moment is so good.
So good. It would be really cool to experience that again for the first time. If I could just wipe my memory of Bioshock 3 and not have to play it again, though. I'm just kidding.
We're not getting into this again. We're not doing this again.
Gosh, what else? It's hard.
It's tough. It's a tough one.
It's really hard to choose.
I know.
Spiritfarer would also be cool because going through that journey is really cool.
It's such a good one.
Learning
That's
everything
a really
slowly
good one.
over time is
it's a really good one, yeah.
I guess like Pokemon, like the first Pokemon. I think if I could play through Pokemon Blue again for the first time, I think that would be really tight.
Do you have a fear? Well, we'll move on very quickly here from this, hopefully. But do you have a fear that, like, if you could play a game like that now, you'd be like, oh no, this sucks? Like, if there's a level of, like, nostalgia and love that has continued, that if you went back to it for the first time, you'd be like, this is terrible. Like, with what you know now, wiping your memory of it and then playing it again, you'd be like, oh, this sucks.
I'll do you one better. I can promise you that's what I did.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because I know the first generation was trash.
Right. I gotcha. Fair enough.
Actually, let's have them remake that one.
Yeah, there we
and
go.
then I'll play it again.
And then you'll do that one. Yeah. Remake it, wipe memory, and then play it. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Who was it? Was it you or me?
That was mine.
So I gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay. What we got here? What game is your favorite sleeper hits? Yeah, I got this one actually. I've talked about it a little bit before in the podcast, but there was a game called Spec Ops: The Line, where it was stepped down for a number of reasons, but I think because people kind of didn't get what it was trying to do, because it was advertised as sort of like a Call of Duty clone. Like, all the trailers looked like it was very, like, glorification of, like, the soldier life and whatnot. And it plays like a basic Call of Duty clone, but except in third person. But what it really, really is that, like, and this hasn't been confirmed, but it's kind of, it's sort of like a video game remake of either, like, say, Apocalypse Now, or the original book that's based off, Heart of Darkness, where it's just like a very brutal look into, like, the life of, like, war and what that takes, and just kind of like, it's especially for a video game to do sort of like the unglorifying, sort of the what's the film term, the demythologization of war in the world of video games was a really, really fascinating take, and the story is really, really compelling and really, really good. So that one to me was always kind of like, can't believe no one else is talking about how fucking incredibly made this game is.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I think my favorite sleeper hit is Superliminal.
Yeah.
I like, who knows about this game? Like, not a lot of people. Although I gotta say, I did see a speedrun of it not too long ago.
How long is the speedrun?
Wild. Abhorrently quick.
Really?
Yeah, so fucking quick. It's
that would drive me insane.
Quick.
That would drive me insane.
Yeah.
I hate watching that one.
It's what's cool is that it's not very game breaking. It's not like some speedruns where it's like, oh yeah, you go here and then you clip out of bounds and then you walk to the end of the level and then that saves you 20 minutes. It's not like that at all. You have to kind of go through everything. It does not let you really, like, get out of the path.
Gotcha.
But it's really good knowledge of the path and the course and everything, and doing it very optimally, which is really cool to watch.
That's the ones I really, really love.
Me
someone
too.
who really knows, like, how to use that, has just memorized the template of the game so well. Absolutely. They know how to get through as quickly as possible. Gotcha. Okay, I'll check that one out then.
Yeah, it's really annoying to watch that one too, because it's like you're watching it and you're like, I had to resize that fucking object like 100 times. I knew what the puzzle was. I solved the puzzle. It was just getting the object to be the right size in the right spot and not fall over and, like, yada yada.
The one I always think about
was... And they just, like, bust through. They're like, boop, 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 done. And I'm like, oh, I hate you.
The one I always think of is the time I spent in that room with the one fucking apple. Just making dozens of fucking apples over and over and over again.
Okay, yeah, but that was because you didn't figure it out.
I couldn't get that once. I felt so dumb much. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, so you or me for the... We literally have two more.
We have two more. I think... Yeah, you picked Sleeper Hit, so I'm picking this one. All right. Actual scary games versus games that are just... sorry or full of nope, I can't do it.
It was supposed to be sorry. It's supposed to be just kind of like games that are actually scary and not ones that are just full of gore or like random jump scares.
Ooh,
like cheap, like
genuinely
like genuine scares versus cheap scares in video games.
Genuinely scary. Okay.
Huh. I mean, my examples are always going to be Resident Evil, the first Outlast game, the Dead Space series. Even though that one can get a little bit into a territory of just like random jump scares to break the tension in certain moments, but like those are mine because it's kind of like something like Outlast is an incredibly gory fucking game. Like there's literally there's just viscera strewn fucking everywhere throughout the game.
But there's also like terror happening.
Like there's a genuine feeling of like I need to leave while you're playing that game.
Absolutely. My entry for this is Clive Barker's Undying.
I know about Undying. I never got to play it though. I know about it. Yeah.
Old dusty PC game.
Yeah.
Genuinely terrifying.
That's what I heard.
Creepy.
I knew it was one that was like of that ilk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Last one. Let's do this. Moments in games that will stay with you forever.
Okay.
I mean, one of them
There's so many.
Yeah, one of them for me is the obvious one. It's the slave chooses and man obeys from the first Bioshock, because that's just so impactful in terms of just like what a game can do, what a storyline in a game can do to you, and just like how that moment hits, and still being forced to in the game. It's such good meta commentary too. Just like you have that reveal, you know what's happening there, and you still have to continue on with what you were doing already.
Yeah.
Because the game demands it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so
There's
good.
So many moments in Bioshock that are like
iconic, just like
vividly.
Iconic moments. That,
I mean, like the moment where you're watching the bathysphere where it's supposed to have his family in it, and then like the splicers are like crawling down the window, and you have to like watch the whole thing. Like that moment is like engraved into my memory.
Yeah.
And then of course the reveal
is just brilliant. It's just so damn good.
So yeah. Trying to think of like maybe things we haven't already talked about on the podcast.
As much,
you know.
yeah. It's really casual. If we've talked about it, it's fine.
Yeah, I know. Of course, the like all of the moments in Spiritfarer where you're taking the spirit to the Everdor and they're like crossing over and you say goodbye for the final time. Like each one is engraved in my heart. Like so tragic.
Oh, you know what's one for me? First ending of the first episode for The Wolf Among Us, where you find Snow White's head. Or you think it's Snow White's head on the thing.
Yeah.
That's what made me want to keep playing.
Absolutely.
I was like,
that's the hook.
What the fuck happens here?
Absolutely.
The fuck happened here? I gotta know. Like, that's so good.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is incredible as well. It's not like it drops off after that,
No.
but just like it's so good right there as well. I love it so much.
There's so many.
I know,
I'm
there's
like,
so many. That's one.
And I can't think of any.
That's one we should hold on to then, because maybe that could just be like an episode.
Maybe that could be a whole episode.
Whole last episode of just like those moments that stick with you as a gamer.
Yeah.
That are just like forever ingrained in your brain.
Yeah, because definitely, I know that there's so many out there and they're just not coming to mind right now.
The ending to the first season of The Walking Dead, which I know you haven't played, but we need to have you play it, is just, it's heart-wrenching. Just a heart-wrenching ending in the best fucking way possible. It's just, the games that... I could do an episode on the games that made me cry as well. Like, just like the shit that breaks my heart in video games. Oh, God.
Truly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of, like, moments in, like, The Legend of Zelda, that are like burned into my memory forever too, like the great Deku Tree dying in Ocarina of Time.
Right. I know for a lot of people the reveal of oh my god, who was
Sheik into Zelda.
Sheik into Zelda is a big one for a lot of people.
I got spoiled on it, so it didn't have the impact.
So it didn't have the same impact as you. Yeah. I remember, I never played Zelda as a kid, but I remember friends telling me when I got to it. It's like, this badass like assassin chick who just badass assassin keeps popping up, and you find out it's actually Princess Zelda, pretend to be somebody else, and I was just like, you're saying words that mean nothing to me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds cool, but I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Yeah. Feel that.
I think overall it's just like I think it's a tough question to answer to kind of finish this off here a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough question to answer because it's just like with movies and books and TV shows, it's very easy to point to the moments that'll stick out to you because there's always a scene, a line, or something that'll stick out to you. Whereas, and I'm not saying that these don't have the same thing, but just like with video games, when it's good. Like, when a moment in a game is good, typically it's because the whole game is really, really good.
Yeah.
So it's sort of hard to encompass sometimes to, like, a single moment that's going to stick with you in your video game because it's part of such a bigger thing that makes that moment so good. That it's hard to be like, oh, well, this part in Zelda, like, especially with something like a Zelda. It's kind of like, how do you point to, like, one thing in Zelda that makes that game stand out to you at this point? Whereas it's the whole experience of playing through a Zelda game that kind of stands out to you. So Like, there's obvious exceptions, like we talked about with Bioshock. There's the moments in Bioshock that stand out. And there's stuff in Mass Effect all over the place, but we've talked about that so much, I'm not going to go into it now.
No kidding.
But it's just like, I feel like that's overall, it's just like, video games are just like so good. That's hard to be like, well, no, this one thing is what made me like stick around and keep loving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think we need to do some soul searching, and I think this does need to be a future filthy casual.
I'm so down for that.
Moments.
I'm so the particular moments that make you fall in love.
Let's do it.
I love that. I'm into it. All right, I'm cool with that. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really hope you enjoyed this like more sort of off the cuff free flow version of our normally off the cuff episodes.
Yeah. As always, if you have any ideas for future episodes or future things that we can talk about, you can always send us an email at 3vopodcastteam@gmail.com, and you can give us your ideas. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all at 3VO Podcast. Make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe to our show. It really makes a difference. It means so much to us, and we'll see you next time. Bye!